The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 first official trailer has finally arrived after a long wait. The trailer features the usual mix of humor and extremely tragic scenes that fans have come to expect from the Guardians. Rocket appears constantly in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 teaser, so it's logical to assume that the movie will finally give us a backstory. But there's so much more to this movie than just that. Here's everything we know. First off, let's talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 poster.
That stuff about my father. Who does she think she is?
I know you're sensitive about that.
The official poster shows the whole team with their new pal Cosmo standing on their new ship, Bowie, against a setting sun with a dramatic backdrop. This can only mean one thing. The Guardians of the Galaxy franchise isn't saying goodbye to someone other than James Gunn. We might lose someone. No! We already knew that it was going to be an emotional roller coaster, with Mantis now officially revealed as Peter's sister. But that's not all, because the Guardians are now the proud owners of Nowhere, with Cosmo as the newest member of the Guardians family. Marvel Studios seems to be extra generous this festive season, because they gave us a lot more new characters, which we'll see in the movie. The Guardians will face new antagonists, including the High Evolutionary and the long-awaited Adam Warlock. Not to mention, Gamora's back again because of some intricate MCU witchcraft, but Peter is still heartbroken because past Gamora doesn't remember all the times present Gamora had with Peter. Moving on, will this be the last Guardians movie? In Volume 3, our favorite band of misfits gets a slightly new look. Meanwhile, Peter Quill is still in shock after Gamora's death and needs to unite his squad behind him in order to preserve the universe and safeguard a member of their own family. A mission that, if unsuccessful, would spell the end of the Guardians as we now know them. The Guardians movie trailer is chock full of the comedy we've come to expect from it, but it's also shockingly emotional as it wraps up the narrative of this team and their time together. The teaser also previews Rocket Raccoon's roots and the experiments that made him the raccoon he is today. Naturally, all of this is taking place as the gang tries to deal with Adam Warlock, who's probably going to be a real pain in the butt. Marvel Studios was successful in whetting our beaks with the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, but the threequel is going to be a completely different animal. The creative power behind the series probably isn't going to change either, because James Gunn is back for Volume 3 as both writer and director, so you can bet your grandmother's famous Christmas cookies that it'll be another awesome movie. Let's talk about the angry animal people.
Well, even where I reside, out past the edge of what's known, we've heard tell about the man they call Star-Lord.
The Guardians are seen in the teaser with dark blue and red outfits as a nod to Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning's comic book series Guardians of the Galaxy. Knowing that the Abnett and Lanning era heavily influenced Gunn, this is totally appropriate and should have been done in the first place. Moving on, after we're introduced to the new outfits, Bowie arrives in what seems to be a residential area. There's only one problem. Every single person has a head that looks like an animal. A little goat girl throws her ball at Star-Lord and his crew as they try to greet them with the tried and tested "we come in peace." But we guess that didn't work on this planet or in reality. Of course, Drax being Drax picks up the ball and throws it back at her like a dodgeball, smacking her directly on her face. The animal people react to this by attacking the Guardians with anything they can find. We don't know about you, but we're really excited to see this particular scene because it's going to be hilarious. Next up, why did Rocket say he's done running? Star-Lord can be seen in another shot relaxing on Bowie's bridge while playing a Zune. Mantis warns him, "Don't forget where you came from." Next, the Guardians are seen leaping into nothingness while wearing vibrant spacesuits that look like they came straight out of the Among Us space-themed video game. Moments later, we see Nebula carrying Star-Lord across Nowhere knocked out cold. Then we see a young Rocket Raccoon and Gamora taking a look at a photo when Star-Lord says, "We've been running our whole lives." That was when Rocket says, "Pete, I'm done running," and then whips out his revolver ready to fight. We can only wonder who they're done running from. Maybe they're talking about the Sovereign. Remember that scene from the very first Guardians movie where Aisha vowed to destroy the Guardians for being rude and stealing from them? This is probably where Adam Warlock will come in as well. Oh goody, it's about time. Moving on, will there be other villains?
You own a planet and can destroy 24 spaceships without a suit. What are you exactly?
Yes, of course. More shots reveal Gamora confronting an unknown enemy, the Guardians attempting a jailbreak as they race through what looks like a cancerous growth in space, and Mantis helping an injured Drax. But the High Evolutionary's presence is the most important feature. In the universe of Marvel Comics, the Evolutionary is a mad scientist who uses cutting-edge technology to create new men, or hybrids of humans and animals. And since Rocket is seen lying injured and saying, "We'll all fly away together one last time, into the forever, that beautiful sky," this means he's connected to Rocket's origins. This suggests that the character we might be saying goodbye to is none other than Rocket. The last moments of the trailer give us our first glimpse of Adam Warlock as he fights Nebula, and as he and Star-Lord stand side by side shooting blasters, a strong Groot shouts, "We are Groot." Groot's case is plural because he has several blasters tucked away in his tendrils. The teaser ends with Star-Lord convincing Drax not to kill everyone in their way, in typical Guardian style. Everything is set to Space Hog's exquisite "In the Meantime" track, which sets the mood for an emotional journey. Next up, which rumor did James Gunn debunk?
We're killing you first!
Well, dying is certainly better than having to live an entire life.
While the Guardians of the Galaxy did make cameo appearances in the holiday special that had just recently been released, and in Thor: Love and Thunder, fans were brought up to speed on the current situation with the Guardians. Audiences noticed that the young Groot from Thor 4 and Avengers Endgame had changed, along with the team's new ship, headquarters of operations, and members. James Gunn claims that the Groot we saw in the first film isn't just becoming bigger, but he's actually an entirely different Groot from the first one who sacrificed himself. When there were rumors that Groot might shrink back to his former size in this upcoming film, Gunn confirmed that it's not physically possible for that to happen. There goes that theory. Not to mention, this isn't the first time Gunn had to explain things. The fact that the old Groot and the present Groot are two separate characters has to be fully addressed by the filmmaker on several occasions. In fact, numerous fans brought up this topic again after Gunn's tweet, with some arguing that the books never expressly indicated that there were actually two different Groots. In response, Gunn stated that it's explicit in the movies and is much more obvious now that Groot's anatomy is evolving differently. Either way, if all goes according to Gunn's plan, the present Groot will serve as the kid of this unusual family, one that they all had to guard this time. One thing's for sure, this entire story is about a family of rejects who met one another, grew to love each other, and together, with each other's support, learned to embrace who they are since they all despise themselves. It's absolutely beautiful. Finally, could Groot be the key to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? We'll have to wait and see if Groot will still be Swole Groot in Volume 3, but the Disney Plus special is definitely worth seeing if you're interested in the upcoming threequel. Gunn disclosed that he shot both Volume 3 and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special together, using the special to get us all up to speed and ready for the movie. So, Volume 3 will probably take up where the Holiday Special left the Guardians. The real mystery is how the movie will conclude, especially when considering it's James Gunn's final project with the gang. The movie is about Rocket, and Gunn and the rest of the Guardians cast have both emphasized that it would be very, very emotional. So, that's all we do know. Rocket has played the role of a father figure to Groot during the Guardians' time in the MCU. Swole Groot will probably play a significant role in Rocket's emotional path too, because Volume 3 is emotional and about family. Guardians of the Galaxy fans can anticipate hearing more about Volume 3 in 2023, and of course, online from James Gunn himself, now that Phase 4 of the MCU has come to an end thanks to the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. How do you think James Gunn will end the story for the Guardians? Could Rocket actually die, or will he be saved by his family? Let us know what you think in the comments below. That's it for today. If you liked the video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content just like this.